All right, guys, welcome to the NSL Weekly Podcast. I told you, since I'm back, I'll be able to get these back on schedule and Wednesday for right now. So we go on into the first week of NSL. I think ASL is having their draft right now. Is that right, Extreme? Or I think, Kenny, you're still over there too, aren't you?
Yeah, they're actually on pick 18, 19, something like that.
Yeah, so
Yes.
they're in the first round of their pick. Week one is done for NSL. We had some pretty good games. Before we start that, I want to introduce y'all to our newest member of our league. We got Kenny Powers here. He's been a sim. I guess he said he ran leagues back in the PS2 day, back when you had to enter in the stuff yourself, the sacks and all that. That was a terrible time to be a sim league player. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Kenny. How long you been sim Madden player in sim league, I should say?
A decade, a long time. Like it really was manually. You had to input all your stats, and um, there was no, what was it, League Daddies? Now it's Daddy Leagues. So
Yeah,
it's
I
just
remember that.
everything was manual, and everybody run slant patterns and in and outs, and you couldn't stop it. So,
Do you remember this one play back on PS2? It was a wide receiver. It was a wide receiver pass, and if you ran with the wide receiver, it'd be 20 yards every time. That was a Madden 09, 08, something like that. Oh, that was terrible. 06, that's what it was.
on the lob balls too. Once you
Oh,
switched to the receiver, they were just faster than everyone else. So,
I'm a Vikings fan. I just threw it up to Randy Moss.
yeah.
Easy money.
Yeah.
Um, sounds like you've been playing Madden as long as me. I remember the first Madden games I played online, I had to buy SOCOM for the PS2 to get the network adapter, plug that in so I could play my first games online. That's how long I've been playing Madden leagues, or Madden
Yeah.
online, I guess. Good to know, man. Glad to have you in your league. You worked your way up from ASL. Now you'll have a team in NSL. So you only get a year over here in NSL for this year before we retire out for the season.
Yeah,
Do that for a reason.
draft. So I got the tight end and the a free safety that was a superstar too. So kind of sucks. We're not going to get 2 or 3 years out of them. So
No, but you're going to have the Raiders going into next year, and they are going to have a stacked roster. They're going to have some of the best talent in the league. They're going to have David Carr boosted up, their defense boosted up. You're going to have a good team going into next year. That is unusual to come in so late and have such a good team next year. So unless you decide to give them up, you're going to have a good team. You feeling good about the Raiders next year? What is your favorite team?
the Panthers, but I'm hoping we get the brothel that's going to be with the Raiders when they move to Vegas.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Get the brothel. Okay.
But,
So you're a Panthers fan, huh? How'd it
yeah.
feel seeing the Falcons in the Super Bowl?
I really didn't care. I was pulling for them both to lose. So
Fair enough.
not a fan
Okay.
either way.
Fair enough. Let's see these games this week. It looks like you lost your game this week against the Falcons in Mixed Master. What happened there?
He cheated and cheesed the whole game. No,
I understand.
no.
I understand.
I threw probably way too many picks and was rushed home. It wasn't poor weather outside, so
Ooh, I hate those games.
I'm something to blame.
If it makes you feel any better, I lost 26-0. Was it something like that? I don't even know. 23-0. I didn't even put up any points on the board. So, longer Madden goes on, the less effective I am at putting anything on the board. Coach, you got a W. 1 out of 3 of us that got a W this week. Beat Raging Tommy and his new Browns 17-3. He was ready to get off those Lions. He did.
I'm
And
extreme.
he has the same result. Yeah, that's what I say.
Coach.
Whatever. Extreme. You know it. You won 17-3. How did that game go?
It was all defense. I couldn't move the ball. The only reason I scored is because it was a couple of lucky passes down. Kelsey catches one and runs about 20-some yards into the end zone. And then I had a 49-yard pass to my receiver that I drafted the first draft we had. So it was tight. It just defense. I couldn't move the ball. I had a total of like 23 rushing yards with like 17 carries. And I just couldn't move it.
Rushing the
Passing
ball in
wasn't
Madden,
much better.
rushing the ball in Madden is a nightmare. Unless you break one off, your average yard per carry is going to be around the 2 yard per carry, no matter who you have. I feel. Okay, good game. Some other interesting things that happened this week. Let's see here. A good game that they had, the Bears versus Texans. That was Maritime coming away with that W. Texas had a good year last year, and he did not start out strong. Looks he beat Skag 26-10. That's a pretty good game. I lost the Rabbits. Some people would say that'd be a good game, but I don't think I'm good enough to qualify as good games anymore, especially since I haven't really played that much in 4 years. And Pink beat the defending Super Bowl champions Waka 26-21. That surprised me, but that's what it is. So, so interesting. Who do you got next week, Extreme?
I got Bubba. I got the Chargers.
Oh God. Let me get the schedule here.
Which I always look forward to playing Bubba every week.
I bet you do. One of your favorite things to do, right?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
That running back he has is still a beast.
Looks like you got Kenny, you got Deacon coming up next week. The Broncos. Did you play him last year?
Nah, I joined like week 17. The only person I played was
okay.
So
okay, so you're coming in full. It's a winnable game. Deacon likes to throw picks if you get him rattled. Some other interesting games next week. We've got me versus the Bears. I'll probably lose by 40. Other than that, not a lot of super interesting games. Saints versus Falcons ought to be a good one. Did you have some?
Buddha's been playing pretty good in the ASL, and then he won his game this week in the NSL, and he plays BM Nemesis, so that might be a decent game.
That might indeed. So Buddha's been playing pretty. How's ASL going? Who's the big riser in there?
I'm not really sure. I mean, a lot of guys have been in and out, and guys been brought up to NSL. I don't really know. I mean, TGI won with the Dolphins, was in the Super Bowl against Waka, and then he's gone. Waka's still there. Rabbit with the Texans is phenomenal. I mean, with everybody in and out, I really don't know a whole lot right now. I have to wait and see how things pan out.
ASL definitely does a little bit of changing of the guard, but that's the name of the game for a sister league. The call-ups are what it is. I anticipate some more stability than last season since NSL won't be running, or it'll be just nobody playing.
Yeah. Another one for next week. The Skins put on a clinic, it looked like, against the Cardinals this week in the NSL, and he plays Lacey next week in Seattle.
He is a new member too, called up from ASL. I don't know a lot about his game, so
I'm not sure either.
I haven't had any complaints about him though, so that's always a positive. When I don't hear any complaints about you, that's usually a good thing. I can't say that about all the calls from ASL. We have had some complaints. Not about you, Kenny. You're golden so far in your one game played. So
the poor Bears and their multiple users.
Well, that is what it is. It is what it is. We'll figure it out. Hopefully, we'll have a stable owner next year. Let's talk about some things. Extreme wanted to talk about one of the issues we have with too many people stockpiling draft picks and maybe some things we can change. I'll start with you, Kenny. How do you feel about the whole stockpiling draft picks, and how do you feel maybe is it to build teams? Do you feel like is there any sort of thing that you think that should be a standard for building teams?
I would just say just leave it up to the people playing it. I mean, you just have to monitor it. I know everybody don't want to get into reviewing every trade, but
we do review every trade. Actually,
well, I mean, break it down and make sure this team isn't stockpiling picks. But
yeah, that's exactly right. We got to get to the point where maybe we're accepting trades, but do you accept trades because it's fair, or do you see what they're trying to do and do you stop accepting their trades? It's a tough choice.
I think the trade's fair. It's reviewed as fair by 2 or 3 people. It's hard to,
Well, how we do it, trade committee, is we have 7 in it, and if 4 out of 7 say yes, then it's approved. So that's how we do it. Maybe we need to up it to 5 out of 7, or I don't know. So we're here discuss maybe some actions to fix it. Obviously, you guys know my thing. I want to do is decrease the XP, especially season-ending XP that's building up these rookies to hundreds and 70s after one season. From 70s to 90s in one season. It's just insane. How about you, Extreme? I know you have some thoughts on
Well, I was thinking about trying to find a way to like implement a trade system where we have the 3 trades now, but was thinking it seems like a lot of the trades want to happen like during the actual draft itself, especially like when we're in slug, when people see what's being drafted and a lot of people want to offer something. And I just, even though that the regressions there and the no trade list was put in place, it just seems like that some of these don't seem feasible as trades. I mean, I'm not saying that the trade's not fair, because the trade basically is fair, but if you look at all aspects of, I don't think that having 3 picks in the first round in the top 20, or even 3 picks in the first round, I don't think we should be doing that, just because of the way everybody scouts and everybody that's in here pretty much knows what they're doing, and everybody's looking for those superstars, and they just go bam so fast that with superstar developmental, they're gonna progress nicely anyway. Even if we do turn down the XP sliders, I understand that'll cut it back, but when you have your training that you focus on, and then you have the additional coaching XP you can spend to boost your training, it's still going to give them more XP than usual.
That is true, especially since anybody after 26 can't be built and anybody after 28 starts declining. You have a very short window there to increase people, and if you don't get them increased, it's going to be hard. That's one of the problems with Kenny. You said if a trade's fair, how fair a trade is changes as we go throughout the season. Like this season, a trade we thought was fair season 1, we realized that there's the spreadsheet that you can just input players, and it's going to give you probabilities that they're superstars or blue chippers. Now you're hitting on the first 4-round picks when the rest of the team isn't. Now those picks mean more because we didn't necessarily know everyone was hitting on all these picks, and that's kind of my fault, and maybe Lacey's fault and the admin team's fault for not going to Google and searching all these little things. But I don't think we should have to do that as a league. We're not look for members that do that sort of thing. So it's a tough. We got to figure something out.
Yeah,
and it doesn't. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was actually the one that showed Rabbit, spreadsheet, but those things, they've been around for a decade. Someone's always going to find a way to manipulate the sheets, and basically it's a probability. It's not it's not guaranteed or anything, but I mean,
part of the reason too is most of our league, 20 members or so, have been together since 5-6 years ago, just so long before 360. We were on 360, and we all moved over. Part of the reason is we all in philosophy. So when we bring in new people, it's the new people that are finding these things. Like, now, I'm not saying it's cheap or anything, and I understand it's been around for a while, but there's other things besides that. But that thing that we don't know about.
You just can't manage people in that sense. They're going to find stuff like that, and you have to. That goes into the trade. I mean, you like to think that people, are going to do this or do that, but if you can find a way to, it used to be people would go in and, the classes would align with, by the top pick or whatever, then you could go through and everybody was graphed out, even down to the thing. There's still, there's a chance in this. It's not as concrete as it has been, but it's still better than guessing on 3 stats. And it's part of it. And, I think the men's have to balance that. The people you have in place have to say, well, this is what a trade is now or in 2 or 3 years down the road, or put a
Yeah,
lot more value on picks. Everybody was
I
looking at
agree.
that one spreadsheet that says that the first pick is worth 10,000 points and the fourth round pick is worth 300. Well, maybe develop something for players that you know
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
a first 2 3 after basically the third round, you're basically it's worthless. Like, I've seen people trade in other leagues, trade like their fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh to get a third because they knew there would be no value or no
hmm
real all-star value in the third, and
passing.
people would do it every time.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I wish there was a way where people could just scout on their own and draft, but it just doesn't seem to be the case. So we got to figure out something going forward, and we have an off season to figure it out. And obviously, Madden likes to change things. I don't
yeah,
anticipate him changing too much, especially with him implementing the new, um,
yeah,
the what is it called now? Frostbite engine. I
yeah.
anticipate that'll take up most of their time, and they will not implement very much at all, especially into franchise, which doesn't. Uh, so I think we're going to see a lot of the same thing next year as what we have this year. So I think we can go ahead and get a jump on what we can do to maybe improve it. I think you have a point there with valuing draft picks higher. Obviously, we can't decrease XP too much, or
Yeah,
it's
it's
tough.
not crazy off. I mean, it is off a little bit. I think it is a little bit high, but not. I wouldn't. A 5 or 10%
It's
decrease would probably be sufficient. Not.
it's not. I wouldn't say it's high for normal players. It's the rookies that do so well
Yeah.
and then get so much XP at 22 and 23 and become 90s that are the kind of the issue.
There's another
And
league
I
that I
think
would draft 21. I would only draft 21-year-old players,
it's a smart move.
and by the time they were 23, 24, they were still could be drafted technically as far as age wise, but they would already be in the high to mid 80s and still have
Yep.
another 2 years, 3 years of progression.
Good
Those were the
development.
players
Yeah.
that would end up in the 97 to 99 range, getting
Yeah.
those in
That's it.
second, third range. So
It's a good way to be. I mean, the whole system, I believe, free agency drafting, terrible in Madden, needs to be overhauled 100%. There's doesn't make any sense. I think I wouldn't mind. This would be a weird way. Maybe just giving us stats. This is something they could do. Stats for the combine times, and then let in like a little just a little mode versus somebody to see how he plays.
yeah,
That would be kind of interesting to me, and that way you don't have guaranteed anything. It'd be about the same accuracy as a real draft. You're only hitting on 50% of first rounders, believe it or not. Most people don't realize that, but only 50% of first rounders amount to anything. So I think that would be a good way. You need less information because real life NFL players don't know as much as we do in Madden. Like we pass blocking, a guy can be a great pass blocker in college, and then he gets to the NFL and he's terrible. It's just how it is. There's no assigned grade to a pass blocker. Laramie Tunsil isn't going to be this pass blocker no matter. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, if he has a B plus grade in Madden, that they're coming out of college, that doesn't mean he's going to be a B plus when he gets to pros. There should
Brian
be
Rob,
some position.
Brian Robinson coming out of college was great. Our defensive end was a fourth round pick, graded as a terrible pass blocker and good run blocker. Do you know his entire NFL career? What he's been good at? I'm not blocking. He was a pass rusher and a terrible run stopper. Stopper in college and bad pass rusher. Ever since he's got to the NFL, he's been a great pass rusher and terrible run stopper. It's just it flip flopped as soon as he got to the NFL. It's just how it is. I think they need to give less information. It's too much. It's too easy to draft. Great. That's part of the problem, but we can't change that. So, otherwise,
And plus, once everybody figures out what the stories mean, like the Heisman winner has superstar developmental. So, I mean,
yeah.
that's almost a given every time. Or it is a given every time, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never
When in
seen it
real
not be
life,
superstar.
when in real life, Heisman means you're going to be a slow development player in the NFL.
Yeah,
Almost 90%
not
of the
even in the
time.
NFL. You'd be lucky to make it in the NFL.
Yeah, so shoot, Lionheart, Bush, uh, Vince
Manziel.
Young, yeah, all the Heisman, they're terrible in the NFL. Who was the last one? Derrick Henry, did he win the Heisman?
Yeah.
Bad season, but he isn't super. Oh my God, my girlfriend is watching me on
Fiance.
my fiance. You're right, fiance. I'm sorry. Anyways, what about free agency? How do you feel about free agency? How do you think some fixes for that maybe, Kenny? Where obviously right now you can have just people sniping off the rip right before the advance, and it's
I do that. I, it's tough. I mean, it's the same. I think it's as realistic as it. I mean, every team has a deadline, so
true.
if you want the player, outbid. If you don't try to get him for pennies and nickels.
Yeah, but there's a difference between maybe a dude has to go to work at 4 and a dude has to go to work at 5, and we advance at 4:30, and the dude at 4:30 can hop on there and spend $1 more than the dude that went to work at 4 and get his player.
I think in the game they shouldn't put the point system in. They should never let anybody else know what somebody else is bidding.
I think so too. I don't understand why they put that on there at all.
And then when it comes to that though, I don't know if anybody did it this time in the NSL, and I don't know if anybody did it in the ASL this time either. But there's been issues with people giving them 20 million bonus in peanuts for salary. And I just don't know. I don't know why. It's like nobody had. Sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but it's like people don't have common sense when it comes to putting a bid in.
Oh yeah, I try to rape them on the bonus, and because I don't always cut them. So
yeah, I don't like giving them bonuses. I looked at a thing actually. Apparently, giving them too much bonus doesn't help as much as giving them bonus and salary or something. I don't know. There's of course a mathematical reasoning behind signing too. One thought I had going forward is maybe you sending all bids to me, one bid, or just you're only allowed to put one bid in, and it has to be your highest bid on that guy, and you can't put another bid that weekend on him. Obviously, the next week you could, but
yeah, you probably could actually set up like a Google spreadsheet and put the players into it, and then teams could go in and leave it all private, but they could still input bids, but other people couldn't see it, and then do like a blind bid.
Yeah.
I mean, basically,
I could maybe have
a blind bid would be the only two reasonable.
That could help on a multiple fronts if I did something like that. That could be something we use on the phone. So you wouldn't have to be on council at that time. You see somebody trying to snipe you on a bid, you just snipe them back. Everybody could be on the phone at the same time, placing a bid.
Yeah,
might be something that'd be.
But I understand people, can't get away at 10 o'clock that day or whatever it may be, and basically that or blind bids would be the really only option. So
yeah, blind bids would be great. We tried.
There's no way to put a time frame in on bids, is there?
There is not. We have the options we have is the options what we do is what we have. It just we're just trying to make things fair for everyone, give everyone the same opportunities, and Madden makes it really hard to do. Extreme, do you have any ideas on how to maybe improve free agency where it's more of a fair thing?
No, like I said, unless there was some way that we could implement free agency, even though it's open, you can't put a bid in until a certain time, we all agree upon a time, and you have an hour with everybody. If everybody could be on, how everybody does the draft, where everybody's on at that time, and you put that bid in, and then right after that's over, then we advance.
That sounds interesting. Problem with that being is if people can't make it, You could always, but then again, we could always have people give us ghost bids, like give me specifically ghost bids and tell me how high they want to go, and in that hour, I can just tell people if that's the high. That might be something we could look into. That doesn't sound like a terrible idea.
Because cap gets jacked so bad. I mean, cap penalties, and everybody's always, fishing for cap room, and then have to, put it on everybody that if they mess up their cap, then they're going to have to cut a star player on their own. But
that's already the.
Well, yeah, I mean, you already put that in, but I'm just saying that it just like for the new guys that take over a team, if somebody leaves and they come into an absolute train wreck of a cap penalty, that's not their fault.
True, but I also think that you got to work with what you got. You don't always go into a great situation in a team in real life.
That's like I was the Packers in a league. The Packers cap is junk.
What about doing a group of players on the blind bid? I know you guys don't want to do 300 people, but there's really only maybe 10 or 15 players that people are really after. And just say that these players are blind bid players, and
maybe we could do it. Maybe we could do it like that's a good idea. Maybe we could do it in groups. The first days of free agency is only the top 100 players. I don't know. All stuff with this is all good stuff. I'm glad we talked. We might need to get together and talk about this more in the off season just to get some sort of a good thing going on. Nate, I like some of your.
We actually had to create a website, and we kept up with the salaries on the website because at that time Madden didn't keep up with the salaries, and we actually done blind bids on it, but it was through the entire league. There was a way to import your players. I can't remember how it was done, but it was done by your card. I don't know if you remember the PlayStation chip cards.
Yeah.
You could put them out, and there was like a converter that would convert all the players, but you still had to create a website for their salaries. But we would do them in like tiers. Like players had certain tiers instead of assigning a value to every single player, and basically it would be the same thing with free agency. Just 100 is still a lot to keep up with, and there's really only 20 players that people are going to really go out there. Yeah,
maybe pick 10 players specifically and blind. Okay, well that's a good idea. That's something we can look into. I like it. More stuff we can talk about going into the offseason. Kenny, I like some of your ideas. I might bring you into some of the talking about this later on, since you have ran Madden leagues before. I'm always down for hearing new ideas. I'm not a commissioner who thinks I'm the greatest and know everything. Always look for better ideas to improve the league. Philosophy of the league still hasn't changed. I want what we see on Sunday to be what we see on when we play, whether that be off season, during the season, whatever it is.
You don't want a hot pocket?
I do not want a hot pocket. All right, guys. I think that's about it for today. I think we had some good talk today. This was a very good discussion about how maybe some things we can do to improve the league going forward. As always, anybody else want to join in on discussions on how we can improve the league at later dates, feel free. Kenny, I'm glad you came. Hopefully you enjoy NSL. You came in at a good time because I'll be getting back into it a little bit more, updating the website more, getting we actually use Twitter. We were using Twitter at the beginning of the year pretty often. Kind of got away from that, but hopefully that's something we can get back into for storylines and such. Anything you guys want to say before you go, Kenny?
Yeah, I'm actually putting together a hardcore Twitch page with the streams and everything. There's a way to, I don't know if we would have anyone to be interested in like broadcasting or announcing Super Bowl.
We have been very interested in that. We did it last year. It did not go well because we used it through we didn't use it through Twitch. No, we did it through Twitch and then through a computer, and it was terrible. We need to find a better way. If you have a better way,
through sourcing, through PC sourcing, through Twitch. Basically, I'll link. If you have a Twitch account, I can link you into mine, and it'll play mine, but it'll record whoever wanted to do the broadcast
Oh.
or whatever the case may be.
That's exactly something we'd be interested in. I'll get back on you on that. So yeah, 100%. I love, especially big games like Super Bowls. Maybe I was thinking about maybe doing a Monday night game of the week. Maybe not every advance, but once a week. A huge game doing it, maybe something like that. Sounds like good.
Then if you could do that, then maybe I could try to figure out a way to make a better plays of the week, or not plays of the week. That's rabbit. A game of the week video then, because I was having a problem with, even if anything, I could just record the whole game. I mean,
that would have the whole game with commentary from us, so that would be
that'd be something different.
They all sound like good ideas. Kenny, got any other ideas? I want you to let you know, you and all new owners, I'm always open to new ideas. I might not take them all, but I'm always down for listening. Kenny, I'm going to have to hit you up, maybe not tonight, but tomorrow, maybe or the next day. We can get this sourcing done and figure that out, because that's really something we were interested in before. I don't know if Extreme remembers, but we have done it in the past, and it did not go well. For announcing a Super Bowl, and it was bad. It was laggy, and nobody watched it. It's actually on the YouTube page. You can go back and see it, and it's not good. What is that? Oh my god! All right, guys, I will hit y'all up later, and appreciate y'all joining.
Have a good one.
Yep. See ya.